Terry McGinnis was your average futuristic high school student.
He went to future raves, complained about future problems, had a future girlfriend, yeah, you know, the usual.
Until one fateful day when Terry got into a fight with a group of jokers.
What's he got against comedians?
No, a gang called the Jokers. You know, like the Joker?
Ah, but with a Z, cause it's the future.
Well, naturally. After possibly the most dangerous motorcycle chase ever put on television.
Yeah, it's cool, he's got a helmet.
Terry found himself inside an isolated mansion owned by an elderly billionaire named Bruce Wayne. Here, he stumbled upon the most important revelation in his life.
Bruce Wayne is Batman! Oh, what a surprise! Well, more like he was Batman. He'd retired from crime fighting years ago, cause, you know, age is a bitch.
Wait a minute, after decades of secrecy, a punk teenager just happens to stumble into the Batcave? For crying out loud, if he'd found my secret lair, he'd have been vaporized on the spot.
Yeah! Anyway, Terry's roller coaster of a day still wasn't over. Turns out, his dad got murdered.
Dad?
Bummer. So he did what any emotionally charged teen who wants to avenge their dad would do. He stole the Batsuit.
But not the old cape and cowl of yesteryear. This was the latest and most advanced Batsuit. Terry McGinnis didn't just become the all-new Batman. He was Batman Beyond.
You ever wonder what would happen if Batman got a hold of an Iron Man suit? It's basically that, and damn, he looks friggin' rad.
The Batsuit's nanotechnology greatly enhances his strength and provides several thin yet strong layers of ballistic and environmental protection.
And he can fly! He can soar faster than a speeding future car, and he's really nimble in the air. Plus, he can always give his punches and kicks a literal rocket boost.
The suit sports over 24 other gadgets for combat and espionage. He has a wrist-mounted grappling hook that can extend over 50 feet. There's a cloaking device, a lock decoder, finger microphones, climbing claws, an underwater breather, thermal and binocular vision, extendable spikes on his arms, flashbang grenades, triple-weighted bolas, a buzzsaw, and even retractable tweezers.
Splinters are no laughing matter. And don't forget all those sweet, sweet batarangs. These new age ninja stars are even sharper and more compact than before, and they come in a variety of delightful flavors, like explosive, ensnaring, and electrifying. Terry's got a solid throwing arm and can even disarm multiple opponents with a single shot. But if he's feeling a bit lazy, he can always just use his arm launchers to fire batarang discs.
Also, when anyone gets in too close, the whole suit can act like a man-sized taser. The electric shock is strong enough to stun people spliced with animal DNA and short out heavy machinery.
But the tools don't make the man, Batman. Terry's a master martial artist with plenty of training from legends like former Robin Dick Grayson, totally real ninja Kairi Tanaga, and the former Dark Knight himself. Well, once he got over the kid stealing his suit, of course.
Bruce Wayne doesn't just serve as Terry's mentor, he's also a constant source of advice and information on the go through his direct link to the Batsuit from the Batcave.
Good thing, too, since Terry's not exactly the world's greatest detective. At least not compared to the old man.
Bruce is extremely intelligent and an expert analyst. Plus, the Batcave has some very impressive technology. Not only does it host one of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet, it's also completely dependent on its own hydroelectric power supply and isolated network.
Still, I don't care who Bruce used to be. Having an old guy barking orders in your ear sounds annoying. Like your dad's always looking over your shoulder. Or at least I imagine, cause I didn't have one.
Well, Terry is Bruce Wayne's secret son.
What?
In an effort to ensure there would always be a Batman, government boogie woman Amanda Waller had secretly overwritten Warren McGinnis's reproductive DNA with that of Bruce Wayne's.
So like, he was just blasting Wayne babies? It's like all the fun, but you could get out of any child support case. And bonus, I guess Terry's father technically wasn't murdered. Good for him. Also, he's got all the benefits from Bruce's kick-ass genes.
Even before going through combat training, Terry was a skilled fighter, strong enough to send opponents flying with a single punch.
In the suit, he's strong enough to lift large I-beams and this giant boulder.
He's even survived getting his leg trapped under Bruce Wayne's trophy penny.
What's so special about a penny?
Just look at it.
Holy colossal currency, Batman!
The penny's diameter is easily 20 feet wide and is frequently dated from the 1940s. This means the penny is likely composed of bronze and weighs around 166 tons.
That's more than enough to crush all the bones in your foot. But not Terry. He was up and at 'em like nothing happened. I mean, this guy's tough enough to take a missile to the face and then fall hundreds of stories. And all he got out of it was a couple broken ribs. What's a penny as heavy as 33 monster trucks gonna do?
He's quick enough to dodge gunfire, skilled enough to defeat lizard people and the Justice Lords. In a newer suit, he could fire concussive pulse blasts and even outraced an intercontinental missile, which can reach speeds of up to 15,000 miles per hour. That's over 19 times the speed of sound.
He's still no Bruce Wayne, though. He's kind of a punk and doesn't have the amazing smarts or expertise of Batman Classic.
You don't quite have his magnificent brain, for instance. You do have his heart, though.
Maybe not, but he has accomplished feats equal to his predecessor, like fighting Superman and ending the Joker threat once and for all. Clearly, Terry McGinnis has more than earned the title of Batman.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman.
Through the millennia, legends were passed of a source of unlimited energy, the Promised Land. Unfortunately, all hope of finding this sacred ground had been lost, until the Shinra Electric Power Company excavated the remains of a being believed to hail from the very land they sought.
They called this weird naked purple lady Genova and thought that if they could bring her back to life, she could help them find the Promised Land. But apparently, they just didn't have any Phoenix Downs.
If they couldn't resurrect a being who could lead them to the Promised Land, Shinra decided they would simply create their own. After many experiments infusing Genova's cells with those of a human's, they finally found their savior. His name was Sephiroth.
With hair like that, it's no wonder he was created in a lab. Look at how majestic that mane is.
According to Final Fantasy lore, Sephiroth has to use an entire bottle of shampoo and conditioner every single time he bathes.
Why do you know that? Did you join his fan club or something?
For research. But Shinra wasn't interested in Sephiroth for his hair. Instead, he was an essential part of their soldier program.
Wait, this electric company has their own private military? I'd hate to miss a payment with those guys, especially if they sent Seph after me. I mean, look at the ridiculously long sword he keeps with him. That's his Masamune. This 7'2" behemoth of a blade is a lot like the Nodachi swords they used back in feudal Japan. But instead of wielding something long with two hands like those, Sephiroth only needs one.
Even that speaks nothing of his effectiveness as a warrior.
Yeah, you know when people spread legends of someone, they usually make him out to be even better than he really is? It's the total opposite with Sephiroth.
With his superhuman speed, strength, and durability, Sephiroth was instrumental in ensuring Shinra's victory in the Wutai War, conquering the last free nation on the planet. He returned home a legend.
But all those warm, fuzzy feelings of victory didn't last long. While on a mission to the town of Nibelheim, Sephiroth found a bunch of books on the Genova Project. That's when he discovered he was a secret science project the whole time.
The truth crushed Sephiroth and drove him mad. In a rage, he annihilated Nibelheim, but was stopped by a mercenary named Cloud Strife. Sephiroth was impaled by the Buster Sword and fell to his death.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Which is what I would have said if Sephiroth hadn't dropped into a hole in the ground that led him to the giant Windows screensaver called the Lifestream.
The Lifestream is a buried river of energy which basically maintains life across the planet. Normally, merging with the Lifestream is the equivalent of entering the afterlife, but not for Sephiroth.
And this is where things get weird, so buckle up. Still conscious, Sephiroth's essence floated through the Lifestream for years until he absorbed enough energy to rebuild his body. With the energy of the Lifestream, he could control other beings with Genova's cells,
including the corpse of Genova, who he manipulated like a puppet and disguised as himself.
Oh, what the hell? That's his mom? Who would do that to their own mom? I mean, I know she's a genocidal alien monster, but come on! Probably makes a good breakfast.
But Sephiroth's descent into the Lifestream offered him even more. It transformed him from a mere super soldier into the most dangerous being on the planet. He's strong enough to throw a man hundreds of feet skyward, move at supersonic speeds, and withstand brutal stab wounds through vital organs.
He's got illusion powers that can trick people by creating an entirely fake scenario. He can lift people with his mind, including himself, and then he can just fly. That's how it works, right?
Additionally, Sephiroth can cast magic thanks to his on-hand materia. Materia is crystallized life energy which grants different powers according to the type of materia used.
This lets Sephi attack with fire, lightning, ice, and earth-based magic. He can block attacks with barrier and reflect, and heal himself with cure and regen. And ever since jumping into the live stream, he's had unlimited access to his magical powers.
With his new godlike abilities, Sephiroth began a plan to stop mankind from drying up the planet's life force.
That doesn't sound so scary. Does that mean he's an environmentalist, or...?
But to do this, he decided to use black materia to summon a giant meteor to destroy the planet and absorb all of its life energy for himself.
So, like, an opposite environmentalist. A planet vampire. I mean, we're talking about a guy who kicked a dude through solid concrete, murdered the crap out of a 30-foot serpent with a spike through the face, and tanked a dragon's flamethrower attack without even getting a teensy bit hurt.
A particularly impressive feat considering this attack was capable of one-shotting fellow soldier Zag Fair.
Wiz, you may need to up your prescription, because that's definitely Cloud.
No, Cloud was just recalling false memories there. It was really Zack. However, it was Cloud who impaled Sephiroth pre-livestream with the Buster Sword.
And holy God, is it huge! It's like 2 feet wide! You'd think a stab from that thing would just cut him in half, but Seph just kinda shook it off.
And in his rematch with Cloud, he blocked an attack strong enough to crater the metal around him. Considering the diameter of the crater, the surface area of Sephiroth's feet, and assuming the most likely steel composition, I estimate this attack to equal nearly 1,600 tons of force.
Sephiroth can use that wicked sword to stab and lift wannabe heroes by their ribcage, slice through skyscrapers, and shoot energy beams that can shred these huge Mako cannons. And from the live stream, Sephi figured out he could create new bodies or even take on other forms.
These forms greatly resemble certain creatures found in Christian and Jewish mythology.
He certainly looks the part when he goes into his ultimate form.
Regardless, Sephiroth does possess a single black wing, a blatant symbol of his fall from grace.
So basically Final Fantasy does everything it can to not be subtle. Just like Sephiroth's most devastating attack, Supernova, which decimates an entire solar system. Wait, if Seph is that powerful, how does anyone ever beat him?
Don't get the wrong idea here. There's a lot of debate over how Supernova actually works, but I think it's pretty clear that Sephiroth isn't creating the explosion himself. Rather, he's transporting his foes to a specific point in time within an alternate dimension.
Careful, Wiz, don't sell him short.
Just look at it. When he uses the attack, reality literally crumbles away like glass. This is identical to the animation for certain summoned creatures. According to the official Crisis Core Complete Guide, summons draw their targets into their own space in order to attack, and this is no different. In the Dissidia fighting games, Sephiroth goes for the simple approach and opens a dimensional hole to the explosion. The attack is even described as sending destruction even into other dimensions. And if he could summon planet-busting meteors at will, why did he go through so much trouble to get the black materia, which literally summons meteors?
That would explain why the supernova doesn't hurt him. He's not really there, just using those illusion powers of his. With all these powers, I can't believe Cloud and friends were able to take him down.
He's not invincible, but he's damn powerful. Ever persistent, Sephiroth departed with a final, chilling promise.
I will never be a memory.
Why does he sound so bored?